Hello, everyone. News Channel 3 Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson here with a YouTube and Facebook Live update. Center myself here. Hope everybody's having a great night. It's a Friday. That certainly is good news. A Friday night. Always love that. Got about 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm trying to get closer to that 9 o'clock mark. It was one of my things I wanted to try to do for the new year. It might take a little while, but I'm getting there. But again, I hope everybody's having a good evening. Wow, what a wild weather day it has been. I was going to say a wild last 24 hours, but really it was sort of, I guess, compacted into more like 15 hours, right? Because 24 hours ago, which by the way, we had breaking news, and so that precluded me from being on here last night. I was ready to go, but I was taken over, and so I couldn't do that. So 24 hours ago, tracking some thunderstorms. That's right, early January thunderstorms through the area, as if that's not wild enough. That was going to be followed by some pockets of heavy rain, a couple of inches of rain falling in some parts of West Michigan. Looking at you, Ottawa County. Jarrett, hello to you in Lawton. Good to see you. Orlo, always good to see you too. Hello, Paw, represent. That was followed, of course, by strong winds, 60 plus miles per hour. And then rapidly falling temperatures. We dropped about 20 degrees over just about 4 or 5 hours. So it's been a wild 15 hours there, right? Actually, our weather right now is fairly quiet. It's going to pick up activity again tomorrow with some snow, and I'll get into that coming up. Robert, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, and thanks for being here on this Friday night. Jeanette, hello to you. Always good to see you there from Coldwater. Hope all is going well. Putting the cold in Coldwater on this Friday night. A lot colder than it was last night at this time, of course, when we were knocking on the record high door, which we broke through it early this morning, right after midnight, several locations, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Grand Rapids, all, I think, 60, 61 degrees. New record high temperatures set today. Carla, ice melted on the driveway for sure, right before we get a reload, right? Thanks for being here. Shinnis Joe, good to see you. Welcome back to the cold. You bet. Ben, good to see you too. Thanks for being here. So let's get to the agenda here. I'm going to squeeze myself back, and then we'll start moving on. Ready for more snow? That's not a question whether we get to vote or not. We don't really have a vote. We better be, because it's on the way. Loretta, good evening. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. Thanks for being here. Leslie, hello to you. Dan, Chief Dan in the house. Yes, you're right. Another snow event on the way. And in fact, north of I-96, we're talking about a winter weather advisory, and that goes up north. Now, I don't know where up north is for you. I think of it sort of as Traverse City, Gaylord, but I really think of up north as on the other side of the bridge. But for our purposes here, we'll say up north, because we'll go north of I-96. So Muskegon, Oceana, Newaygo, and Mecosta counties north. So looking at you there, Lake City and Frankfort, and of course, Traverse City under a winter weather advisory. Colder air coming in for Sunday with a little bit more snow, and then quiet for early next week. That's all coming up here. Put the plows back on, Roberto. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a little bit here over the weekend. You're right. But probably a better use for that plow coming up a little bit later on in the month. But yeah, I would agree with that, Roberto. Billy, good evening to you. Vern, thanks. Good to be back. No snow, Shinnis Show. I don't know. This is January. Tina, welcome back. Thank you. Rather have snow than rain in the winter. Yes, Shinnis Show, you're definitely going to get in the snow there in Pearson. So let's get right to it. Hold on, I got to get my keyboard. I don't know what I was thinking of here. Here we go. Will that work? There we go. Let's first of all, I don't ever like to go backwards first, but we do have a couple of notable things. And first is the max wind gusts that we had today. They were ridiculous. 55 in Holland, 52 in GR and Benton Harbor. And look at the upper 40s, Sturgis, Coldwater. I mean, it was windy everywhere. Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, 45, 43. Megan, how will the drive be between Battle Creek and Allendale tomorrow? I don't think it's going to be that bad. Okay, I don't think it's going to be that bad. If you leave earlier in the morning, then you won't encounter much snow. For example, I'll show you in the hour by hour. I think around 7, 8 o'clock, We won't really see much, but by 9, 10 o'clock, it'll start moving in, and by noon, it'll be over most of us. But I don't expect it to be problematic for a couple of reasons. One, our temperatures are not going to be diving down below freezing. When that snow's coming down, it's going to be about 34, 35 degrees, as I anticipate anyway. And I'll show you that on the hour by hour coming up. And so I think it's going to be a wet snow, but I don't really see it. And remember, our roads are still somewhat warm. Remember, we were at 60 early this morning. So I don't think it's going to really collect a lot on the roadways. I think we'll see some accums out there. I think it'll be slushy, but I don't think it'll be debilitating. I hope that helps. And so I would say you're going to be all right. But again, the earlier you leave, heading out from Battle Creek to Allendale, the better it's going to be. So Megan, I hope that helps, and I hope you have a good trip. Connie, good day. Good day. Melina, good evening to you. When does the snow start? About 9, 10 on the early side to about noon, depending on where you are. Let's get to that hour by hour. There you can see on our hour by hour here, it starts at about 10 o'clock. This is showing cloudy with that snow, certainly by noon, and then continuing into the afternoon. Near steady temperatures, starting off in the low 30s, topping off in the mid 30s. Jennifer, good evening to you. Melina, Chicago Bears going to be playing lots of snow. I don't think there'll be a lot of it, but I think there'll be some snow showers. Yeah. Come on, it's appropriate, right? If you're playing outside in Chicago or Green Bay, they don't play outside Minnesota or Detroit, but if they did, you got to have snow. This is January. It adds to it, in my opinion. Melody, hello to you. Shannon, wind was howling for sure, but boy, did it come down in a hurry. You know why? The air pressure. And by the way, I know we have some folks on here who feel the headaches, who feel the joint aches, the body aches, the muscle aches when our barometer starts doing this. And boy, was it doing it earlier today. And when the barometer is rapidly going up or down in pressure, then the wind is strong. And that's why it was so strong this morning. But that change in pressure started to even out rapidly mid to late this afternoon. And that's why the winds have gone quiet. But the next system is going to be pulling in during the afternoon tomorrow and on Sunday. And so the winds are going to be picking back up again. And if you do suffer from those pressure-oriented or pressure-related pains like headaches or maybe even migraines or body aches or joint aches, you're going to be feeling it. You're going to be feeling it. Of course, you probably don't need me to tell you that. Windy in the harbor, Jerry, for sure. 52-mile-per-hour gust. No advisory. You don't want an advisory, Judy. I'll show you where it is. Let's get right to that. I'll show you. Andrea, hello to you in Scotts. Jan and Bill, wind was awful. Blew your bird feeder off. Thanks. It's good to be back. Like I said, I was prepared to be here last night, but news gave me the boot. Anna, hello to you. Truly enjoyed the temperatures yesterday. Wasn't that nice? Yeah. Connie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Megan, thanks for the thanks. BC in the house. Thanks, Timmy. And Jerry, I hope you have a great night as well. Stay safe in the weather that's coming. Judy, hello to you. When took part of your fence down? Yikes. Sorry to hear that. Gwen, good evening to you. Chris in Coopersville, got some snow for you. Let me show you when. We go from 7 a.m. to noon. See that? 7 a.m., 8 a.m., no problem. 9, 10 a.m. starting to move in on the lakeshore. By noon, we got it 131 west. Let's go into the afternoon, and those snow showers are going to be over us entirely. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches out of this, 2 to 3 inches out of this by the time we get to late afternoon. And you spread that out over 5-6 hours, it's not too bad. Plus, look at our temperature profile, mid-30s. We're going to be above freezing. Not going to be a problem out there, I don't think, on the roadways. But it will be slushy at times, so keep that in mind. Andrea's ready for summer. Well, we're getting there. Deb, hello to you in Palm Bay. Speaking of summer, right? You know, I just came back right earlier this week, not from Palm Bay. You're on the west side. I was on the east side there in Palm Coast, by the way, near Daytona, but between Daytona and St. Augustine. Julie, how much snow total by Sunday morning? I'd say 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Dawn, good evening to you too. May, when will the snow stop tomorrow? Let's get to it. All right, I got 4 o'clock on the clock. Watch this. Boom, it's pretty much gone by really 8, 9 o'clock. So the snow is going to be here less than 12 hours. And then it's gone by this time tomorrow night. We might even see a little bit of clearing out there. Judy, you got arthritis. And if that's aggravated by the pressure changes, then yeah, you're going to be feeling it. You felt it today, and you're probably going to feel it again tomorrow evening and into Sunday because we have more pressure changes on the way. 'Tis the season, and we are way up on the globe. And the farther north you are on the globe at this time of year, the more likely we're going to be having those areas of low pressure swinging right on through. Candace, thank you. I hope you do too. Cheryl, good evening. Lori, always good to see you in Galesburg. Jackie, wind about blew you away. I'm glad you're here, though, for us tonight. Alan, maybe I got a little sun. You know, I got to be careful with that. You know that. And I was. But maybe I caught a little bit of sun there when I was down in the FLA for a few days earlier this week. Chris, ready for more snow? Sherry, good evening to you. Christy, what about Sunday? Let's get to it. We go from Saturday night to Sunday morning. Notice by about Sunday 7 a.m., we see another round of snow. This might give us an inch. I'm not really impressed with the totals on this, and it's gone by noon. So this second round of snow moving through is on the backside of this area of low pressure. That's going to contribute to the first round on Saturday. This might give us an inch or so. Temperatures will be getting colder here. So there are going to be maybe some icy spots on the road by Sunday morning. So Sunday, all through the day, actually, because our temperatures do stay chilly, but the snow will be confined to the morning. In the afternoon, as you can see, we might even get away with a little bit of sunshine. Sherry, good evening to you. Corrine, hey, good to see you. Thanks for the thanks. Have to go to Muskegon tomorrow and Sunday. Will 131 be bad? No, I don't think so. I will say this, though, as we get to it, I want to show you. We do have a weather advisory, and Muskegon County is included in that. But this is primarily, if you can see behind that banner, you notice it goes all the way up north to the bridge. So this is primarily for areas north of I-96. Muskegon sort of on the southern edge of that. But for our area, we have Muskegon, Oceana, Newaygo, and Mecosta counties there. Callie, I think you're going to be all right. I think you're going to be all right. Going to Muskegon tomorrow and then coming back on Sunday. There'll be some snow showers. Sunday might be a little slick on the roads. Keep that in mind. But overall, I don't think you necessarily should stay overnight. If you can get back on Saturday, late Saturday afternoon or Saturday night even, I think you would be better off than driving back on Sunday. But either way, I just don't think it's going to be, like I said, debilitating. All right, so that's our winter weather advisory. Did the hour by hour to show you what's going to be going on. Here are temperatures right now, mid to upper 30s. We're well above freezing. So no problem with any freezing going on out there right now, and no precipitation either. All quiet on live Doppler radar. So let's get you right to your 7-day. This is the WeatherGuard 7-day forecast. Tomorrow again, snow 100%. Moving in 9, 10-ish, west to east, noonish, covering much of the area. Moving out by 4, 5-ish, okay? Quiet tomorrow night. By the way, a couple of 3 inches maybe for tomorrow at most, I think. And then coming in behind it for Sunday morning, we'll see a little more snow that'll be out by mid to late Sunday afternoon. I do want to get back to that advisory just to go over this one more time. Let me go back one more. There we go. Okay, because in the advisory area, which again, we're talking mainly north of I-96, and like I said, more of an issue for our friends up north in Traverse City and Frankfort and Petoskey, and even over toward Lake City as you're going up 131, up to Gaylord, for example, all the way up to the bridge. 3 to 5 inches of snow possible there, so a little bit more robust snowfall there. And with a gusty wind there to 35, I think we could see 20 to 25. Let's say south of I-96, but north of I-96, 30 to 35, and that could create some blowing snow. So that's something to keep in mind. But again, that is north of I-96, north of I-96. Jennifer, moving kid back to GVSU tomorrow morning. You're good. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. And congrats to you for having that kid at GVSU. Congrats to you. Joanne, welcome back. Thanks. I brought it for a little while anyway, right? Little Tammy Sue, don't want more snow. Oh, it's January. It's January. Judy, how much in BC? Maybe an inch or two, maybe a couple of inches at most. I don't think it's going to be problematic. 60 this morning and snow tomorrow morning. You bet. That's what we have going on. Let me get back to that 7-day forecast. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. So we got a little bit of snow here on the weekend. Monday, actually some sunshine. Monday looking like a pretty decent day with 36 degrees. Afternoon rain showers. Some light rain is possible late Tuesday. Then it gets colder, a little bit breezy again Wednesday, Thursday. And we could even see a little bit of lake effect in here by Friday. But overall, I'll say this. Overall, the next 7 days, especially once we get past the snow we have for the weekend, it's going to be fairly quiet. I do think we have a good chance of seeing some lake effect building in here the afternoon of the 14th. So that'd be Wednesday afternoon, maybe into Thursday morning. Got to have a favorable wind for that. It looks like Thursday, our winds start off anyway out of the northeast and northeast, and that's not a conducive flow for lake effect, of course, not usually anyway. Phyllis, you're predicting a white February. We'll write that down. You know, I got a weather trivia question. Let me see if it's in here. Oh, here we go. This is a little weather trivia. Now we have to be quiet because I'm going to pop this out at 11 o'clock. But you've got the inside scoop here. Okay, in 2025, looking back at last calendar year, what month had the snowiest one day at WWMT? So the day that had the most one-day snowfall at WWMT, was that in November, December, January, or February? Share, where's my tan? Well, I'm not as bold about being out there in the sun because that sort of happens, you know, when you've had melanoma. You don't want to do that, right? And actually, when I was down there, you know, I was sort of in Northeast Florida, a little bit Daytona, Palm Coast. So I got a little bit of sun, but for the most part, you know, I wasn't out by the pool. So that helps. So that's where it was. Let's see, got a few guesses here. January, November. Thank you so much. 85 degrees in Fort Myers Beach. Greg, rub it in, buddy. Talking about that lotion, right? Joanne says November. Russell, good evening to you. And Sharon, thanks for the thanks. Well, I'll go ahead and show the answer. Boy, I thought this would fool people. It is actually November, which is a little bit odd because, of course, our snowiest months are December, January, February, not in that order. You bet, Judy. I got to be careful for sure. It is November because on November 29th of last year, November 29th, 2025, we measured 6¼ inches at WWMT in one day, midnight to midnight, and that was the highest one-day total at WWMT for the calendar year, November 29th. So in other words, we did not have one day where it snowed more than 6 inches in last December, last January, or last February. A little bit of trivia there, a little bit of trivia. Greg, you were right. Your brother lived in Clearwater. That's nice, Cynthia. That's some nice weather there too. Jody, Miss Sabino Live. How many inches tomorrow? Well, we're looking at probably 1 to 3, 2 to 3, something like that by Saturday night. By tomorrow night, maybe another inch coming in on Sunday. I don't think it's going to be debilitating. That's the big word. And by the way, neither does the National Weather Service. I-96 south. North of I-96, if you're going up north, if you're headed up to wine country up there, if you're going up to Traverse, if you're going up to the Lakeshore, Pentwater, Ludington, up to Petoskey, if you're going to Lake City, Gaylord, Grayling, all the way up to the bridge, then yeah, might be a little bit more problematic. That's where we have a winter weather advisory. But for the rest of West Michigan, not so. Hello to you, K&M. Thanks for being here. And Nancy and Niles, thank you. And hello, Barry and Kathy. All right, everybody, I'm going to skate. Got 9:24 on the clock, and so that means in 36 minutes I'll be live on ARC West Michigan. In an hour 36, I'll be live on the Mothership News Channel 3. Jesse, you got in right before the door closed. Good for you. Good evening from the Berg. Winter market in Kalamazoo tomorrow. Well, it'll be a little wintry for you. So I'll see you tonight. Danny, Daytona the Ocean Deck. I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about, Danny. But I actually didn't go down to Daytona. Sometimes I do when I'm down in Palm Coast. I always go to St. Augustine. Sometimes I make it down to Daytona. It's about a half hour either way from where I am down there. But in this case, I did not. But I do know the Ocean Deck right there on the beach. Judy, good night. Thanks for being here. Kelly, hello to you in Augusta. Joanne, you can keep the snow. Well, we'll tell that to our folks up north. They'll get a little bit more than we'll get. All right, everybody, I'm going to skate. Like I said, I'll be in an hour and 35 minutes on Arc West, Michigan, an hour 35 live on the Mothership News Channel 3. Thanks, Nancy. I appreciate that. I'll do my best to be safe. Thanks, Lori, and thanks for the plug for the weather app. Speaking of, if you can't catch me tonight on the tube, don't forget the handy-dandy weather app. It's free. This is the best time to have it, I'm telling you. It tracks so many things on there. And it'll follow you. I used it when I was down in Florida because there's a little follow me thing on there, and it helped me out down there too. Also, don't forget, I'm on Facebook, WWMT's Keith Thompson, on YouTube, Twitter, X, Threads, and Instagram at Weatherman Keith, my good buddy Colin Rogers will be here in the morning, 6 to 10 a.m. with live updates. Don't forget, between me and Jeff, and Colin, and Will, we're all over social media, WWMT.com/weather. For our web presence and our web weather updates. You can find weather updates there as well. So we hope to find you in one of those places too. Ethan, good evening to you. Thanks for being here. Timmy, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Jeff in Ceresco. Cold. Oh, it's going to be getting colder over the weekend too, Jeff. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. I'll try to hit some updates on social media over the weekend. I'll catch up with you tomorrow or Monday evening, 5:30, and 6, and then right back here on Facebook Live then too. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.